This is the big news from this last week, and I have a lot of notes here, so hopefully I can get through these at a decent pace here. Because I listened to I don't even know how many streams I've listened to, clicked on so many videos, just sort of getting the temperature of what Xbox fans and Sony fans are talking about. So this week, Bethesda Studios announced that Redfall and Starfield will be delayed. Let's see here. So this is their tweet. So we'll start with this. We've made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023. The teams at Arcane Austin, Redfall, and Bethesda Game Studios, Starfield, have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires all of us every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support. So, Redfall and Starfield were supposed to come out this year, sometime in the fall. These are Bethesda Studios, which are now owned by Microsoft. So the deal is still being worked out, as far as I understand. I think. I actually know they might be done. I know the Activision deal is still going through. Regardless, they are a Microsoft studio now. This is very bad for Microsoft, and it's par for the course for Bethesda, but now they're part of Microsoft. So the reason why this is such a big deal is because this, as it stands today, May 15th, 2022, Xbox will not be launching a AAA title, first party game at all the entire year. That's a big fucking no in the gaming industry. You can't do that. You got just at least one game. You can't drop one. So I have so many little pieces that I want to get into this. First of all, I want to say one thing. I called this. Okay, I predicted this. I've been saying this for weeks now. The way Bethesda is, I've said it before. I don't trust Todd Howard. I think he's a snake oil salesman. I don't believe him when he says. The stuff that they have been dropping, the little tidbits and stuff, everything but like everything. So the only thing that was being shown was just these little tiny tidbits, and it was like it didn't matter. All of these little tidbits were coming out, and people were still fucking selling it like it was this big thing, like it was the game of the year contender. But I knew this wasn't coming. I knew it. I fucking called it. I didn't say anything about Redfall because really I don't give a shit about that game. Starfield is the game that I was personally interested in because it's a game I would like to play. So this doesn't shock me at all. I want to talk real quick about Redfall, and then I want to get it off the table because it's not really what the focal point is here. So Redfall, to me, this game, there really isn't much to the trailer that they've launched. The Redfall release trailer or launch trailer, whatever, is a CGI trailer. It's about vampires, these sort of vampire demon-looking things. It's vampires, but they're very artistically. They're just they're different. They're not your standard like suave-looking, slick, pretty vampires. It's very different. The art style is pretty cool. I think I'll give it that. But the CGI trailer was, it was just fucking. It was just another CGI trailer. I mean, it was just a cool. I mean, when I say cool, I mean it looked cool, and there was production put into it, and there was definitely some work put into it, and I can respect that, and good for them. But the tone of the game, I checked out on. It looks like a class-based multiplayer game that you're basically hunting and killing vampires, and these vampires have like minions and shit. The thing about the game that really bothered me the most was, or the trailer I should say, not the game, it was very hipster. Fucking the comedy just didn't land with me. It's very modern. It's very current, and it just didn't do anything for me. I thought it was kind of stupid. Um, it tried to be like very chill and funny and very like, oh, we're so today. And sorry, I just, no, I'm not trying to shovel dirt on millennials here, but I don't feel that sort of, I'm not feeling that tone. Like it just doesn't, whenever I listen to millennials, like modern day millennials, the way they talk and the language they use, like in that they portray, like in movies and TV shows and now video games, it's never anything where I'm like, oh, that's so cool, that's so funny. It's kind of an eye roll for me. That's just me. I know I'm older. I'm a Gen Xer. I get it. So that's just a subjective. That's just how I feel about it. So when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, you kind of lost me with the millennial tone, but okay, well, what's the game about? You don't know. The only thing we really know from the story or from the trailer is that the story is that you have there's four different types of vampire hunters, and they're hunting vampires, and it's like they're smart asses, and it's all goofy fun trailer, like, oh, we're so cool, and oh, just throwing little quips and shit, and it just didn't work for me. And it looked like there's like different classes, like each one of them has like superpowers, like straight up superpowers. They're like superheroes, the way they move and the things that the hunters can do. The things they do is, supernatural, at least. So again, not terrible, but it just looked very class specific. I like vampires, I like the lore. I love vampire lore and werewolves and stuff like that. But this trailer did nothing for me. It could be just like another looter shooter for all I know, but I you can't really tell. It really is. It could be. Is it third person? Is it first person? We don't know. So to me, Redfall, okay, whatever. It's not coming out. No big deal. The big deal here is Starfield. All right, Starfield is a supposed to be, and this is what we know. Starfield is supposed to be a science fiction RPG, a role playing game. That's it. That's all we fucking know. That's all they've said. I want to say this. I don't think this delay is all Microsoft's fault. I don't blame this on Microsoft. I don't blame this on Phil Spencer. I get it. Bethesda was already making this game before they were purchased by Microsoft. So I'm not saying this was Microsoft managing their studios poorly. However, when they bought them, which wasn't that long ago, this game had already been announced. This game, I think the first announcement of this game, or like the CGI little trailer or whatever, was like 3 years ago, something like that. I want to say it was like 2018 or 2019. So it's been a minute, long before Microsoft purchased them. If so, either Phil Spencer and Xbox, Microsoft, whatever, either they knew about this for some time and just acted like they didn't, and had the release date, and said, all right, this is when it's coming out, knowing they were going to delay game, knowing they're going to delay that game. That has happened, not with just them, with other studios. Everyone has done it at one point or another. So either they did that, which, fucking not cool, I don't approve of that, or they didn't know, and Bethesda was lying to them, which means they were not managing Bethesda or Todd Howard well enough to know that this game was not ready. The reason why it doesn't surprise me that this game got delayed isn't just the fact that it's Todd Howard and Bethesda. It's the fact that we haven't seen dick about this game. Nothing. We've seen nothing. We know those two things. It's in the future, and it's science fiction RPG. That's it. That's all we know. And to me, they announced that they were going to do an Xbox showcase, and I'll talk about that too. But when they announced they were going to do that like a week ago, everyone, all of the Team Green was like, oh, it's coming, but what we're going to see, Starfield's going to be lit, dude. It's going to be, it's going to have everything. We're going to finally see some gameplay, and we're going to see this, we're going to see that, and it's going to get hyped and all this other shit. And I was like, well, okay, that's a lot of faith in that actually happening. And I don't understand how people could. I don't understand how when Microsoft does this type of shit, or Bethesda, I don't understand how people defend it, because I've heard a lot of defending this shit. I've heard a lot of, you know, Team Green, Team Bethesda fans coming out and just going on about how, you know, just defending it. And I want to get into some of those specifics because I've heard some crazy shit over the last week. The thing about what they have shown, that the first cinematic trailer for Starfield was, you know, you see a person coming into a ship that's on a cool looking planet, and it's a very pretty looking trailer. And it's pretty cool. I'm not saying it's not cool, but a person comes in and they sit their rifle down or futuristic, gun on a table, and the camera sort of pans around the interior of the ship, this more sort of smaller ship, and then they cut to the cockpit of the ship, and the person is switching a couple of buttons and shit, and it looks like they're getting ready to take off. And then you see a person looking through their fucking like mask or whatever, their visor, and they're looking up, and then it cuts to Starfield. All right. I listened to so many media outlets just fucking pour over this thing, listen to podcasters, listen to streamers, just pour over it and go on and on just about how, like, oh, it could be this, it could be that. I'm telling you right now, Bethesda and Microsoft have the best fucking marketing team that they don't even have to pay for. Team Green, the streamers, the media, the content creators, they are Microsoft's media corporation. They don't have to do anything. They can put out a fucking a nothing burger of a fucking trailer or an 8-second shot of a robot, and Team Green they will go to bat, and they will spend hours upon hours pushing out hours of content talking about what could be, this is great, this is that. They had a round table and they talked about some shit that they came up with over one night of dinner and shit, and it's like, oh my god, it was so amazing, can you believe? And they said this and they said that. Microsoft and Bethesda don't even have to market their fucking games, because their fans and the media will do it for them. And I don't understand how even right now, after this news, Team Green and Bethesda fans still come out and they do the same shit. They still defend this shit. And it blows me away. And again, being hyped for something, because I did hear this once. I heard someone saying like, oh, haters are saying I can't be hyped for this game, and I'm gonna be hyped no matter what, and this game looks tight, it's gonna be game of the year and all this shit. And why you trying to step on my fucking shine? And I'm just trying to be excited. Don't you get excited for games? Yes. And that's not the argument that I've ever made. Being excited for something that's coming it's human. It's very normal. It's okay. I'm saying don't do that. Don't worry about your feels. You can still have them. The thing is there's a lot of projecting. And like I said, it's almost like they're marketing for the game, and they're not even getting paid to fucking do it. Maybe they are, I don't know. But I'm just from what I can see, they're not getting paid to market this game, but they sure as fuck try. Now, they spend so much time talking about these games, or these two, or we'll just stick with Starfield, I'm sorry. Talking about Starfield and just going on about what it's going to be when they don't even know. They have no idea what it is. But yet it's the most anticipated game of the year. I'm most excited for this game, and yada, yada, yada. Why? Tell me why. And then, a lot of Xbox fans and Bethesda fans, they go back to, Skyrim, which it's a long time ago. It's a really, really, really long time ago. Okay. They go back to, Fallout 3. That's a lot. That's another one I hear a lot about, Fallout 3. And then, but no one really goes on about Fallout 4. No one. I never hear that round being fired. It's never a point to be made that Fallout 4 was amazing, because I think Fallout 4 kind of fell short of what it was supposed to be. I wasn't impressed with that game. Now, I'm not a Fallout guy, so that's fine. You want to take my opinion and just throw that aside, that's fair. Totally fair, I get it. But no one is like, dude, Fallout 4 was legendary. That's not what's happening. So Fallout 4 was the last sort of big, single player RPG style game they've made. After that, since then, it's been Fallout 76, and no one fucking can defend that. That thing's shit. The game is shit, and it's funny because I still hear people defend it. I see it in comment sections. I hear other streamers talk about it. Oh, the game has evolved into something so special. Oh my god, people just have too high expectations. Like, really? So a game working is too high of an expectation? A game not being buggy is too high of an expectation? I don't understand the defense of Bethesda. I just really don't. But everyone's still riding high on that Skyrim, Fallout 3 games from like a decade or longer, and those days are gone. Bethesda isn't doing that. Those types of games now, there's an umbrella of games, like I said before. There's id Software and there's Arcane Studios and stuff. So it's not. I'm just talking Bethesda proper, because everyone seems to fucking spurg out over Todd Howard and fucking I just don't get it. But they haven't done anything in a really long time. Not anything of significance. And even though, like I said, the defenders don't run to Fallout 4 and say, "Oh, Fallout 4 was amazing," because it wasn't. It really wasn't. So the other, let's move along to some other points here. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was just some of the things that, like, and I kind of mentioned them already, but so what we have seen about Starfield so far is Todd Howard sitting around a table with some devs talking about the game, but they didn't say shit. There is an 8-second video of a robot, which got turned into this. The robot is this, and it could be that, and blah blah blah. And it was like, again, more marketing, free marketing. And then the idea that it was like they what did they say? It was I forgot what it was. They were pulling a specific type of system from like Oblivion, a game from like 15 years ago, and everyone was freaking out over that. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's going to have this system and it's going to be amazing." No one knows what this game is. No one does. Like, I don't understand that. And I get if you are a fan of Bethesda and their games and shit, that I'm not telling you that you're wrong. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm saying is they have been swinging and missing for a few now, and it's just being overlooked, and it's being just, no one's acknowledging that shit, and it's getting annoying. And even now with this delay, it's still no one wants to acknowledge that shit. Let's see here. What was the other things I wanted to talk about here? Let's talk about the game just for a second. Like the two things like that we know, science fiction RPG. We don't know if it's a first-person shooter game, a third-person shooter game. Do you even shoot? We assume, because we saw a gun. We see a spaceship, and there was a leak, and it's so funny because the leaks that I talked about a week ago, they were getting shot down hard, and they still are right now by Team Green and Bethesda fans. They're shooting that shit down quick. Like, oh, well, that guy, he worked on it for like a year ago, and he was only there for a couple months. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's like, okay. But they just delayed the game because it's not ready. And the leaker a week ago said that there is flying in the game. So that was a reveal. A leaker actually revealed that, oh, you can fly a ship in the game. Cool. But he said it sucked. All right. He did say that they were still trying to find the fun. All right. That doesn't sound good. And he did say that the game had like the scope. They were still trying to figure out the scope that it seemed, I forgot the exact words, but regardless. And the guy did say that, oh, that was the other thing. I'm sorry. The third thing he said was the game itself graphically, it's not on par with Horizon Forbidden West. So we know that it doesn't have the graphical prowess of like what Sony's doing over here, what PlayStation has got going on. And those leaks just got shit on hard. The defenders came out from everywhere and was like, oh God, Sony fans want this to fail so bad. You guys are so desperate because you ain't got shit to play. Don't we? I feel like I have plenty to play. And I feel like even if I wasn't a Gran Turismo fan, even if I didn't play a racing game, which there's tons of people out there that don't play racing games, That's still a first party studio making a game on only PlayStation consoles. So there's something to play. Horizon, Forbidden West. I am not going to defend that game. I have my issues with that game. It's still a AAA title that's only played on PlayStation by a first party studio from PlayStation. Okay? God of War is another one that keeps getting thrown out there like, oh, and actually, you know what? Hold on. We'll get to that. But the idea that there's nothing to play on PlayStation, that they don't have any games. And it's so funny to watch the argument, because I pay attention. The argument about what this game, what Starfield is, and then the leaks came out, and then it was like, and then it gets delayed. That I do see some correlation. There is some correlation between the leaks now, specifically, that the game has been pushed out of this year. And they said the first half of 2023. So that's June. We're in May. So that game is over a year away. It could be over a year away. It could be 7 months away. It might come out in January or February or whatever. It may not be that far away, but it could be as far as June. Holy shit. So you're telling me the game got pushed out a fucking year? I don't understand. It doesn't surprise me, but the people that I listen to, or that I have been listening to, it's like fucking mental gymnastics, just contorting their arguments to every fucking which way to defend this shit. And I don't know. I don't get it. Let's see. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the showcase, the Xbox showcase. So they announced that this last week. With Redfall and Starfield getting pushed out of this year, Xbox doesn't have any games this year. Today, they don't have any games this year. What are they going to show at the Xbox showcase now? Do they show gameplay of Starfield and Redfall? Do we actually get to see a working, like, fucking gameplay, engine, where we get to see shit in engine and see how it's going to look and what the fucking game actually is? That's what blows me away. Based on what we've seen so far, it could be a tabletop game. I've seen worse. I've seen cool ass fucking trailers, and you go play the game and it has nothing. It's nothing like the trailer. But what are they going to show? That's something else that I kept hearing. A lot of the defenders were coming out saying, like, oh, they're going to come out. Oh, they're going to fucking drop some shit. You have no idea. There's rumors about this game's going to get, they have games lined up ready for this year. And it's like, really? Okay. Because just a week ago, they didn't need any other games. All they needed was Starfield. That's all they needed. They needed Starfield, and they need Forza to come out. Forza Motorsports 17 or whatever, which one they're on right now. Not shitting on the game, but it's just like, okay, Gran Turismo got shit on, and I heard that argument. It was like, oh, Gran Turismo was a sequel. For Horizon was a sequel. God of War is a sequel. When are they going to do something new? And it's like, okay, we got Starfield, we got Redfall. Now you don't. Now you might have a sequel come out this year. So does that argument still, does that mean Forza, the next Forza game, it's not that important? It doesn't count because it's a sequel? I mean, it's such a stupid argument. I don't see Forza Horizon, whatever number they're on right now. I don't look at them like, oh God, it's just a sequel. Who cares? Like, no, it's cool. Looks awesome. If I had an Xbox, I'd be fucking playing. It looks cool. And Xbox fans have a game they can play. Game Pass, subscribers, they have a game they can play day one. That's a feather in their cap that I have to tip my hat to. Like, hey, you got that one. That's awesome. Good for you guys. That's tight. But it's not. That never gets like reciprocated. When the shoe is on the other foot, it's just the goalpost just gets moved and moved and moved, and the argument goes from Xbox owns 2021. They owned it because Sony blew their wad in the first half of the year, and Xbox got to own the back half of the year. Okay, well, how's Halo looking right now? How is that? Not looking so fucking good. But Sony, now we're at 2022, and it's like, oh, so Microsoft has these 2 new IP, and Sony has 3 sequels coming out. We win. Now you don't. So now what? Oh, well, at the showcase, we're going to see games. We're definitely going to see games that they're going to drop this year. They're not just going to let nothing happen. It's like, move the goalpost. You just keep moving it. The argument just keeps shifting and shifting and shifting. And I'm very, very curious about the showcase now. My eyes will be glued to the screen because I want to know what they're going to do. If they do not have a AAA title come out this year from a first party studio, they fucking suck. They just do. You cannot defend that. And people are. People are absolutely defending that. I was listening to a guy go out of his way to fucking say, what's the big deal? I have Tunic to play. I have a backlog. That was the other argument. It's fucking driving me nuts. A week ago, Sony doesn't have, our PlayStation players don't have a new IP to play this year. So, nah. We have Starfield. We have Redfall. And now I literally heard an argument. Two guys went on and on about how, you know what? I'm actually thankful it's not coming out. I have a backlog to play. I have so many games right now. It's so crazy. Like, Game Pass is so amazing that I have so many games that I want to play. And I'm thankful. Now I don't have to play a 200-hour game. Really? That's where we're going with this? That's the fucking argument now. Goalpost. Move. It's fucking crazy. And it's like, it's so funny. Speaking of goalposts and kicking fucking footballs, it's like Lucy just picking up the fucking football and Charlie Brown just keeps fucking falling on his ass. Haha, gotcha, bitch, every fucking time. And they get up, dust themselves off. They look at everyone and say, stop making fun of me. We're still awesome. I'm going to kick the field goal. And then Lucy pulls the fucking ball again and they fall on their asses and they get up, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And that was another fucking argument, was that my backlog is so full that I'm thankful that Starfield's not coming out this year. And you know deep down that's not true. You know they're upset, and that's okay. You should be. I would be really upset if and this is just myself. Okay, I'm not the type of person that, like, I won't pay for something that if I'm not going to get any value out of it. I really don't. And Normie wife won't let me. She gets on me. If I have some sort of subscription to something, she's like, you're not using it. Why don't you just cancel that shit? And I'm like, okay, babe, you made a good point. All right. And she's like, yeah, it's been fucking 3 years. We've spent hundreds of dollars on a fucking subscription or a membership fee that you don't fucking go to. It's like, okay, you're right. But even myself, when I see those things, I'm like, I'm wasting this. I don't want to waste my money on this shit. Fuck that. I'm not going to spend the money. If I only had an Xbox Series X and nothing else, okay, nothing else, that was my only console, and this happened, I would be considering punishing Microsoft by just canceling my Game Pass subscription. I legitimately would. I don't use Netflix, and Netflix came out with cuties, so they can fucking kiss my ass. But Netflix was already on the fence with me because I was like, it's the same. They're trash. The content's trash. They're all fucking woke. They don't have interest in good storytelling. So I was already talking. I was like, babe, we don't need to fucking, I don't want to fucking support this shit anymore. Then cuties came out and I was like, no, I really ain't fucking supporting that shit. So boom, canceled it that day. So I have no problem cutting the fucking cord. And that's not an issue for me. And I just, if Xbox was doing to, like if Phil was in charge of PlayStation and PlayStation Plus was like Game Pass and this type of shit kept happening, I would fucking have another console. I'd have, and again, I'm said, like, sticking to that, if I only had an Xbox, I'd be like, fucking, I'm getting a Switch, or I'm getting a PlayStation. I'm gonna go get a PlayStation 4 at least and fucking play some games because there's nothing coming out, nothing new. But the argument, the holy shit. It was like just listening to, I listened to since the news came out, I listened to a lot of fucking people talk about it. And it was just like, it was going out of their way. And just a week ago, I couldn't scroll through a fucking comment section without someone talking shit on Sony and saying how, oh, you guys want Starfield to fail because you guys ain't got shit to play. And, Xbox, Game Pass is kicking the shit out of PlayStation Plus, and you wish you had Game Pass on it. It's like, no, I don't. No, I really, really do not. In my heart of hearts. But in your heart of hearts, are you really, really happy that Starfield isn't coming out? Are you really happy? Or are you just saying that shit? Are you coping? It's like this, it's a coping mechanism. And it's just, it's a hoot to fucking watch. I'm telling you, like, watching these and listening to these people is fucking funny as shit. But I mean, you look at the Xbox showcase now, and you're going back to that. It's like, what are they going to show? What can they show? What if they come out now? Now, I will say this: best case scenario for Xbox fans, if Microsoft comes out and the showcase comes out, and they show a fucking just banger fucking trailer, a 10-minute trailer of gameplay of Starfield, I think that's that is the fucking bare minimum that they can do to make this okay with the gamers, with the Xbox, owners. Where they show the game, you get to see some fucking cool gameplay. I'm talking about like a fucking killer trailer, something really good. Because it's so funny. The more I think about it, it's like, actually, they probably couldn't. Or, I'm sorry, they don't have to. They could literally, after everything that I've listened to, everything that I've read, they could fucking come out with another 8-second shot of just a like a galaxy shot of like different planets that you can travel, and Team Green would come out and fucking force, see, this is amazing. they would fucking go out of their way to say that, like, see, this is why they had delay, because it's so fucking, the scope is so big and you guys have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know, man. It's like fucking spousal abuse. It's like the fucking Xbox fans, they'll just take a hit and just keep coming back. No, he loves me. It's just like, holy shit, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. And again, I'm one of the things that I heard someone say was like, oh, you guys are cheering a delayed game. No, no, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not cheering a delayed game at all. I was very curious as to what this game was going to be, but I'm actually paying attention. I'm actually paying attention to what they're showing. Okay. And the argument that I heard, and this was fucking, this one was a great one. I love this one. So Ragnarok's coming out this year? For sure. You know that? Do you have a fucking release date? You don't know it's going to come out. It's like, okay, whoa, easy. First of all, simmer down. Okay. We actually saw a trailer of that game, and I heard the argument being made. Like, they showed a fucking gameplay trailer. We've actually seen a gameplay trailer. This one guy was going out of his way to say, like, it actually, you don't know that's gameplay. You don't know that. That probably is just a CGI trailer of in-game, of the game running in engine. It's all the shit. And I was like, holy fuck, dude. And even when the gameplay trailer was revealed from God of War Ragnarok, it was just getting slaughtered. Oh, look, the same boat animations. Kratos jumped in the boat the same way he did in the first game, so therefore it's reused assets. Oh, look, he did the same spin and smash on the ground. It's the same fucking game. This is DLC. David Jaffe, fucking suck it, you dipshit. He come out talking shit. It's like, but you guys went out of your fucking way to say that an 8-second fucking trailer of just literally a robot, a panning shot coming in on a fucking robot, was fucking hair on fire, next level. It don't get no better than Starfield. It's just like, man, I was loving it. I really did. I had a lot of fun this week. I did. I enjoyed listening to the debates and listening to the arguments. And there are some Sony fans out there who are like, ha ha, finger wagging. I'm not cool with that. I was reading some shitty comments from Sony fans. So listen, when I say commenters, I'm not only Team Green is bad commenters. No, that's not what I'm saying. Team Blue, there's some bad commenters too. There's some Team Red, there's some shitty commenters too. There's shitty fans in every fucking, any organization, any fan of anything. You're always going to have a bad apple or two. But I've listened to so much criticism from Xbox fans and Microsoft defenders, and it blows me away. It blows me away, like, just how hard that news must have been to hear that the game was being delayed, the game that they were hanging all of their hats on. They all were saying, this is game of the year. It's like, I was hearing that. And how do you say that? How can you say a game that you've never seen is game of the year? Never even seen it. You don't even know what it is. You have no idea what type of game it is. Game of the year. Game of the year. Lock it in, buddy. What the fuck, dude? Oh man, it was crazy. Good week. For the drama, it was a good week. In all actuality, you know, not poking fun here at all. It does suck because I will say this, there isn't a release date for God of War Ragnarok. If it gets delayed, it's going to suck. And I'm going to be like, motherfucker, damn it, I want to play that fucking game. But I'm sure as fuck not going to be like, well, I got a backlog, so whatever. I'm glad it's not here. I didn't want to play that anyways. And it's what do they call that? What's that term? It's not just coping, but you're deluding yourself. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm not going to delude myself into thinking that it's a good thing the game's not coming out, because I want to fucking play the game. It's a really fucking good franchise, and I'm really wanting to play it. Just like when God of War first got announced at E3 with that kick-ass fucking trailer, I was like, I want to play that game. And if I'm not mistaken, that game got delayed too. I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But regardless, delays happen. Sony's delayed the games. For Horizon was delayed, and they put the wrong date on that because they, it got ate up by Elden Ring. And they, that was another thing too. That just reminded me. I was listening to another fucking this guy was a dick. I will say this. I was listening to one guy who was a streamer. He was a fucking dick. He started mouthing off with politics and shit. And I was like, whoa. He was like, well, if you agree with this politician, blah, 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 you agree with this politics, you could just fucking leave. And I was like, click. Okay, no problem. I'll leave. You had like 150 people in the room. Okay, now you got 149. I was like, God dang, fucking, some people just don't bother. They put their fucking politics above everything else. It's like, I don't like that. And as the other argument too was like, the guy was saying like, and all you people who say that, why do we have to have politics when we're talking about games? You know what? Fuck you. I was like, holy shit. I mean, you know what? I'll tell him this. At least the guy was convicted. I mean, at least he's passionate, but a fucking dick, man. I mean, he got me to click off there, and I'll never go back to that channel ever again. Just for that, just out of spite, because I don't like to be spoken to like that. Jesus, I forgot where I was going. Oh, I know. Yeah. So it was about God of War. Oh, fuck. I forgot now. Maybe it'll come to me later. But yeah, I will say this, delays happen and they do suck. They're not cool. They're not fun. No one wants a game that they really want to play. When it's time for it to come out, you want it to be there, especially when they say, oh, it's coming out May 22nd or it's coming out, April 28th. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah. Can't fucking wait. Oh, the game's coming out fucking December 9th. I can't fucking wait to play that game. And it doesn't, and it gets delayed. It's like, oh man, it's a fucking gut shot, and that sucks, and if you're a Sony fan or Nintendo fan and you're fucking throwing dirt on people, listen, I'm all cool with the debate and the back and forth and shit like that, but let's not name call, because that was one thing that I was hearing a lot was, this is kind of, I will say this covers just about any sort of debate. If you're debating someone and your debate begins with name calling, you've lost. Okay. Once you say you're a fucking idiot or, oh, you're fucking stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, you've lost the debate. You have nothing to say. Also, what I was hearing, and this is another piece of it, if you're an Xbox fan and you're defending this, and your first defense is Sony something, what about Sony something? What about PlayStation something? Because I heard that a lot. Oh man, I heard a lot. Oh, this game got delayed. What about them? What about that? It's like, that's not what we're talking about. The question is, how do you feel about Xbox not having a AAA game come out, a first-party AAA game come out in 2022? How do you feel about that? You know what? Sony, Horizon Forbidden West, that got overshadowed by Elden Ring. So, so that game's just forgotten. It's like, okay. The question still stands. How do you feel about that? All they've had was a sequel, 2 sequels. Oh, what's the big deal? Ragnarok isn't even coming out. You don't even know. It's like, okay, the question still stands, and it still hasn't been answered. It's that if you have to say that, if that's the defense, you don't have a defense. You really don't. And if Ragnarok, God of War gets delayed, I will say that fucking sucks and it pisses me off. That's lame, dude. Like, what are they going to have? And I would say those exact words. So what are they going to fucking have in the fall then? Because that's supposed to be their fall title. So now what are they going to do? that sucks. They just gave up the whole holiday season without one big title. Man, get your shit together. You know, that's what I'd be saying. And I would, and it could happen. It could happen tomorrow. Today's Sunday. I wake up tomorrow. God of War Ragnarok delayed. I'll come on here next weekend and say those fucking words because it's bullshit. That would suck for me. I would not be happy about it. But I wouldn't defend it. I wouldn't say, well, Starfield got delayed, Redfield got delayed, so there's no argument here. And it's like, yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. It's poor management. You know, and developers and publishers, when they put these fucking announcement dates on games and then they miss those marks, it's like, okay, there are certain things where it's like, oh, we've missed some things and we're going to delay the game. But this was weird. This one is kind of interesting. This was like, this game comes out in like 6 months and it's fucking kick ass and we're going to fucking blow you guys away. And then some leaks come out and then they announce a fucking showcase where they say they're going to, the rumor is they're going to show off the game. And then the game gets pushed out a fucking year, up to a fucking year. That's suspect to me. That's very suspect. You know, and furthermore, we haven't seen anything about the game. And we have seen Ragnarok gameplay. We have seen God of War gameplay. So, you know, that would be suspect to me. Like, what else do you got to do? Like, what's missing? Like, shit must be really broken. Sony, get it together.